There is a number hidden inside you. You can't feel it, but it exists, as certainly as your heartbeat. It's your position in a line of every human who has ever lived and everyone who ever will. You are roughly the 117 billionth person to be born. And that single number, some mathematicians say, is enough to estimate when our species will end. Not with a telescope, not with a prophecy, just with the fact that you're here, reading this, right now. Stay with me, because once you see the logic, you can't unsee it. Let's start with a game. Imagine you're blindfolded, standing in front of two enormous drums. Each is filled with numbered tickets. 1, 2, 3, and so on. One drum holds only 100 tickets. The other holds 1 billion. You reach into one of them. You don't know which. And you pull out ticket number 14. Now, which drum did you most likely reach into? The 100 or the billion? Almost everyone feels it instantly. The 100. Because pulling a 14 out of 1 billion tickets would be an absurd stroke of luck. A 1 in 1 billion coincidence. The low number is a clue. It whispers that the pool you drew from is small. Hold on to that feeling, because in a moment, the ticket is going to be you. This idea has a name. They call it the Doomsday argument. It was born in 1983 in a lecture by an astrophysicist named Brandon Carter. For a while, it was even called the Carter catastrophe. Carter almost didn't publish it. The conclusion unsettled him, but a philosopher named John Leslie took it up and wrote an entire book following the logic to its end. And a third scientist, J. Richard Gott, arrived at the very same idea completely independently. 3 careful minds. One deeply uncomfortable thought. That the length of our past might tell us the length of our future. Here is the assumption at the heart of it. You are not special. Not you, personally, but your place in time. For 500 years, science has been quietly delivering the same message over and over. Earth is not the center of the universe. Our sun is an ordinary star. Our galaxy, one of hundreds of billions. Every time humans assumed they stood at the center of something, they were wrong. This is called the Copernican principle. The idea that we should expect to be typical, average, unremarkable. So apply it to time itself. If you are an ordinary human, you should not expect to be born at the very beginning of the human story. You should expect to be born somewhere in the crowded middle. Now the ticket becomes you. Line up every human who will ever live, from the first to the last. You've been handed your number, 117 billion, give or take. So ask the question from the drums again. Are you an incredibly early human, standing at the dawn of a species that will go on to fill the galaxy with trillions of people? Or are you a typical human, sitting somewhere near the middle of the whole story? The math treats it like the lottery. Being near the middle is ordinary. Being among the very first is a 1 in 1 billion ticket. And the argument says you should bet on ordinary. Let me make it concrete. Picture 2 possible futures. In the first, humanity ends fairly soon. The total number of people who ever live tops out around 200 billion. Call it doom early. In the second, We survive. We spread out. We colonize the stars. The total number of humans who ever live reaches 200 trillion. Call it doom late. Now, in which of those futures is your ticket, your 117 billion, a normal, unremarkable number? In the small future, you sit right around the middle. Perfectly typical. In the vast galactic future, you're a freakish outlier, born impossibly close to the start. The cold arithmetic points one way. It points at doom early. Now you might be thinking, this is just a word game, a trick with tickets. Gott thought that too, so he tested it. In 1969, he stood at the Berlin Wall. It was 8 years old. He reasoned there was nothing special about the moment he happened to be standing there. He was seeing it at some random point in its life. From that alone, he predicted a range for how much longer it would stand. The wall fell in 1989, 20 years later. Comfortably inside the window he had calculated, from nothing but the date of his visit. He did the same for Broadway shows, for monuments, for dozens of things. The unsettling part isn't that it's magic. It isn't. The unsettling part is that it keeps working. So what happens when Gott turns the same method on us? He ran it in 1993 and published it in the journal Nature. The result was a window, a wide one, but a window all the same. With 95% confidence, he calculated that humanity has somewhere between 5,100 years and 7.8 million years left. Read that again. It sounds like a lot. 7 million years is an ocean of time. But look at the floor of it. 5,000 years. That is shorter than the time since we built the first cities. We could be closer to the end of the human story than to its beginning, and the math would find nothing strange about that at all. Everyone who hears this reaches for an escape. Surely there's a flaw. Surely you can just argue your way out. And people have tried. For 40 years. Brilliant philosophers have attacked it from every angle. But here is what haunts the field. The objections keep contradicting each other. One person's refutation cancels out the next person's. And the core of the argument keeps standing there, quietly intact. No simple, agreed-upon flaw has ever been found. That doesn't mean it's correct. It might still be wrong in some subtle way we haven't grasped, but nobody has been able to prove it wrong. And that is a very strange place for an idea about the end of the world to live. Let's be careful here. Precise. The argument does not name a date. It doesn't say a comet is coming, or a war, or a plague. It names no cause at all. It simply shifts the odds, nudging the probability of an early ending upward, just by taking your birth rank seriously. And there's something almost hopeful, buried quietly inside that. Because if the future isn't fixed, then every risk we lower, every catastrophe we prevent, gently pushes that probability back the other way. The argument isn't a sentence, it's a warning. And a warning is a kind of gift. It means there is still time to listen. It says the danger has been underestimated, that we've been too comfortable assuming we'll last forever. And so we forget. And then there's the strangest wrinkle of all. Some thinkers say the reference class shouldn't be all humans. It should only be the humans who have ever actually thought about this argument. That's a far smaller group. A few million people, maybe, across all of history. And if that's the line you're standing in, then your position in it makes an early ending even more likely. Because a species that thinks about its own doom for a very long time would produce billions of people pondering this exact idea. You are not one of billions pondering it. You are one of the first, which is precisely what the argument predicted you would be. So here is where the logic leaves us. A single number, your place in the line, and from it, a shadow stretching across the whole future of our species. Maybe it's a flaw we haven't found yet, a clever illusion hiding in the probability. Or maybe it's exactly what it appears to be, a message written in nothing but arithmetic and your own existence. The universe did not need to whisper this to us. It didn't send a sign or a warning in the sky. It just let us be born in our particular place in the line and left the rest for us to work out. The question was never whether the world ends. The question is why the math is so sure that we're already near the middle. And so we wonder.